Hello, this is episode 3 of the Self-Love Diet Tips. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about a different area to the first two areas. So the first area in the Self-Love Diet Tips was all about the kind of things that we were bringing into our energy field, right? And then the second area was all about the ways that we stuff our emotions down and the habits and maybe the addictions that we become connected to, right? In this video, I'm going to be looking at something a little bit different, but before I go on to that, I just wanted to talk about why these diet tips are being presented to you. And I'm going to kind of bring in the ideas around the self-care series I did. Now, in the self-care series, I showed how it's really important to lay a foundation, okay? We need a foundation to be doing these practices, to be bringing these energies into our field, into making these changes, right? And what it is here is that these self-love diet tips I'm giving you right now are parts of these foundations. So you've got your self-care foundation, which you've created, which from watching those videos, right, which you started and worked on. And then you move through that, and what you do is you say, okay, now I've watched self-love diet tips 1, 2, and I'm watching this one. And it's to create practices and behaviors and to remove things that are going to make doing the self-love journey really tough for us, right? So this is what this is about. So today's video is about decluttering. It's about removal of things. It's about how much are you hoarding and bringing into your life, okay, that could be holding you back from achieving certain things in life. Now, I know it sounds really, I don't know what the word is, but it sounds really kind of trite almost, doesn't it? To say, if we get rid of all our stuff, then, and I'm not saying all our stuff, but if we get rid of stuff, then new things will come in. But actually, there is a truth in there somewhere, okay? And there's a reason for it. So this diet asks us, this part of the diet asks us to look at what we no longer need. So like if you were doing a food diet, for example, you might get rid of certain foods and you don't eat them anymore. I don't know. Maybe you're going to stop eating chocolate, which you do, you know, which you love, but you're going to stop eating it. But what if there's something that you are hoarding or having in your space that is affecting your state of being? Like I say, I know it sounds trite, but it's very real. It's a very, very real thing. Okay. Our stuff affects our energy field, right? Especially stuff that we don't love or like, right? Now, I know lots of people, I'm astounded as I've gone around, say, maybe house searching or looking for homes, right, and real estate looking or trying to find a property and stuff. I'm astounded when I visit people's houses, and some people's houses, I think they've got everything there from when they were like babies. You know, they just kept everything. They've kept all their things. Now, I want to explain why that is not always a good thing, right? If you keep everything in your energy field that isn't moving you forwards, and you keep everything in your energy field and you hoard everything, okay, then you're going to find that it kind of holds you back, because the energy that you're having around you is the same energy. So then when you're trying to move and make changes and do different things in your life, the energy that you're holding on to is an energy that is of an old you. Does that make sense, right? Now, why I bring this into self-love, and why it's a tip here, is because when you move into the newness and the vibrancy of self-love and start to move through the practices, you're going to find it really tricky if you are still being tethered to a life that isn't really yours anymore, that is trying to remove itself out of your energy field, okay? This means if you are holding on to things that are going to negate the experience of moving forward, then really it's time to start looking at what you've got within your house, all right? So is there a sense of you having too many possessions, for example? Is there a sense of you hoarding that which no longer is going to be right for you in your space. So let's start with the possessions or buying too much. Are you finding, and this is what I've kind of noticed really recently in people, and even in maybe even in myself to some degree. I love books, so I kind of keep buying different books and new books, and I've got piles of books I want to read. But do I need all those books? Am I going to get to any of those books, right? And I'm pointing over there because they're over there. It's a big part of them. They're like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I don't like this, but I love them. But I love the books. I love books, right? So I keep buying them. Yeah. What I'm referring to here in this self-love diet here is about refinement. It's about refining our choices, having that one good book, buying that, reading it, and then getting the next good book. You might keep that book, and that's not a problem. If you love it and you need it and you want it and it really works for you, that's great. But then you might finish that book and think, I don't need this anymore. You take it to like Goodwill, a charity shop over here in England, right? And you say, oh, I don't need that anymore. And that's fine, because you're making space for new movement within your life. What often happens, though, is that we tend to buy all the books. And then, like me, we have a big pile that we never get rid of. I've got a really lovely friend of mine who, we had a chat a while back. And she said to me, thing is, she said, Hen, I really need to get rid of my books. But instead of getting rid of them, she just boxed them all up. And she said she's just got books, like, everywhere. They're just books everywhere. I understand that need. This is not about having no things. This is never what this would be about. Okay. But what this is about is removing that which no longer serves you. So you are decluttering to the place of letting go of the things in your life that are affecting your energy field. This is deep self-love, whether you realise it or not. And I know it sounds a little bit quirky, but it really is. It steps into love. Now, how are we going to do this? Now, I would always say start as you mean to go on, right? So what in your space, when you look at it, you don't really like it? I love it. I wrote a blog about this many years ago, and in it I said, when you look at it, you feel something, but you think, oh, but so-and-so bought it for me, and I need to keep it, because when they come round, I make it centre stage, and it shows that I loved it. It's not necessary. Because what you're doing while you keep this item that you don't really like in your energy field is it's drawing from your energy, whether you realise it or not, it's drawing from your energy field, and it's taking energy that you need to do other things, right? So if there's anything, start one room at a time, or start one shelf at a time. Start small. Start walking around your home, okay? And if you don't love it, release it. Okay, if you don't love it, and you need to really love it, you need to look at it and get that real sense of joy when you look at it and think, I love this item. I love having it in my space. I'd like to show you something of mine that I love, but it's all over there. But yes, pick something up, really feel it, remember it. This is a good thing. Does it bring back any bad memories? Does it bring back anything that you don't want to be feeling? You'll know when you hold it, you'll know what the memories are for it. You'll know, all right? You'll know it, because the energy field that you're feeling will be different. It will be different. You'll start to feel that you don't want to gel with that item, and you'll know it needs to go. There may be a voice in your head saying things like, well, so-and-so bought it, or, but it reminds me of this, or it's got kind of a memory to it, or this. Now, if the memory's a positive one, that's all good. Keep it. It's fine. But if that memory starts to drain you in any way, it has to go, and you have to be kind of unscrupulous here, and you've got to be really, really strong here and say, look, this is not something I want to keep here, because it is actually affecting my energy field, right? That's the ticket here. That's the bit that we need to understand, and that I'm putting across here. Your energy field is affected by everything in and around it. Everything you watch, everything you absorb, everything you do is all affected by the things in your space. All right? So, like I say, if you don't love it, bin it. Stick it in trash. It's trash for you guys in the States, isn't it? So trash it. Get rid of it. We call it a bin here. You're probably all laughing at me now. But yeah, so just get rid of it and say no to that thing. Okay. And then, you know, like I say, with the declutter, you start small, and be really very, very, very clever about what you're doing, really, very smart. Move through the things just slowly and just start to go, I don't need this, and this needs to go, or I really want this needs to come to centre stage. I'll tell you what you will find. I did this many, many, many years ago in my home, and I had a table that was up against the wall, and there was all these beautiful candles on it, and little holders, and angels, and these beautiful things, right? But I never liked it when I looked at that table. I just couldn't get my head around it. Every time I looked over there, there was something that just really, really drained my energy field, and it just really made me feel a little bit negative, right? It was only small, it wasn't massive, and it wasn't something you could put your finger on. And then when I started doing this actual exercise, I went to that table and I said, what can go here? I started to see things that people had bought me that I didn't like. And maybe even the energy field of the person who bought it for me, they didn't want to give it to me, or they didn't like it, or they didn't like that they were giving me the present. It was all over it. I could feel it, right? So this is about getting into your intuition as well, feeling into what really feels like things feel for you, right? So I removed a lot of stuff, put it in this box, and the table, whew, it shone. It really lit up the room. It changed in its feeling, it changed in its energy. Try it. Give it a go and tell me in the comments how it felt for you, because you will notice very huge, significant impact will be made as you go around your whole house. And obviously when you've just done one shelf, it may not be as strong. As you start to move around your whole house and start to remove things that you no longer need, or remove them all, or give them to someone, give them to Goodwill, give them to the charity shop, right? Say, take this, and yeah, someone else can have a good time with this. I've done with this. I've finished with this. It's over in my life. I don't know if any of you know much about crystals, but crystals have that energy. You know, like the semi-precious stones, right? They come into people's lives and out of people's lives. And people say this quite a lot. They say things like, well, I bought this crystal and then it just went missing. Because the crystal doesn't need you anymore and you don't need it. And it makes that decision for you. So let your inner senses start directing you towards the things that you require in your space and the things that you don't require in your space. And, you know, I'm a fun one to talk, because if you could see the things that I've got, you'd be like, that girl needs to declutter. So this isn't about mess. This is about just not having the things that really make your space feel uncomfortable and uneasy to you. And it's recognizing that. So I am kind of teaching you a little bit of spidey sense here. It's about recognizing how your body feels about these things. You know, it's like, you know, when you get asked something, you don't want to do it, and you feel that energy field of wanting to say yes when you really want to say no. Kind of, you'll feel that around the things that you pick up that aren't meant to be in your energy field. You'll get that, okay? So then when you go out and buy stuff as well, it's about really buying stuff that you want, as opposed to seeing something shiny, you know, that shiny object syndrome, which we all get. I'm terrible for it. I'm like in the shop thinking, that's so nice, I really want one. And then I know deep in my heart that I don't need it or want it actually. But I just see it and it's shining at me and it's saying, please take me home. But it's to recognise that you don't need it probably. So it's to become a little bit more vigilant with how you're buying and what you're buying, and knowing if you need it and knowing if you don't. And then, and this is the beautiful part of this diet, once you declutter and remove what you no longer need and get everything out of your space, that brings your energy field down. Once you do that, right, and this is a little bit of a task, so this is before you move on to all the next videos, do this one, get around that house and get rid of the things that are no longer required by you, okay? And then you're also understanding what you're going to buy, right? So recognizing what possessions you need and what ones you don't, and removing those possessions that you don't need because you're doing that in your decluttering. Then you can move into the new space, right? And this moves into not just new stuff, having new stuff and changing the way things look in your home maybe, or even in your life. This starts to create space for other things. So this is what a diet does. You know, it's like a food diet where you lose weight and you suddenly realise, wow, you've got stamina to run up the stairs, which you didn't have before. You bring things into your life. It's a new thing. We do tend to think as human beings of possessions. Newness could be a new opportunity in thought. Newness could be a new way of viewing the world. Newness could be in a new way of dressing even. So you know, sort of look at the things that are in your life when you're decluttering. So do you need all those clothes? Have you got like 20 outfits that look the same? I have clothes sometimes given to me, and it's really lovely and it's beautiful with people that do it. But often I've noticed the style that we do, and I'm the same. We keep buying stuff that looks exactly like the stuff we've already got. Do you get that, right? You must know it. You're all going, yes, I know. Me. We do. We buy things that look just like the things we've already got. Do we need 20 of a jumper that looks just, sweater for you guys in the States, sweater that looks the same as all the other sweaters in our like closet? Do we need that? Do we really need that? I don't think so, right? And this is what I'm talking about. Minimizing, making being slightly minimalist. But you know, I want to be really strong here in one thing, on a ward about this. This isn't saying to get rid of everything that you own and don't have anything and be so minimalist that you're lucky if you can find a fork because you only have 2 forks and there's 2 of you there. No, this is not saying that. What this is to check in with the energy around your possessions and ask yourself whether they light you up or whether they drop you down, and to ensure that the ones that you're keeping are the ones that light you right up and really give you pleasure when you look at them. God, even if you don't wear the outfit, that's okay if you keep it if you love it. Once you've got rid of the stuff that you're getting rid of, right, you're opening a door for the newness to come through, and it could be something profound, it could be an opportunity, it could be something bigger than you think. Because just because you got rid of a load of sweaters, or I don't know, a load of pumps or something, or a load of, I don't know, china or something, just because you got a load of those things doesn't mean that's the thing that's going to come back in. What you might get is a win of money, or you might, I don't know, open up to an opportunity where someone offers you an opportunity that like you wouldn't have had, like a job opportunity. Because this is how the universe works, because it always has to self-correct, it always has to auto-correct. So we have to create space for that to take place. If we keep holding on to everything, then we're not really creating that space for that newness, vibrancy, and possibility to open itself up. So that's what this is all about. So this diet tip, and just a quick, go back over what we just covered. This is about checking in with what you've got in your space and decluttering what you don't need, knowing what makes you feel good in your home and what doesn't make you feel good, and releasing that which doesn't. It's about making sure that when you go out to buy possessions, you do want that possession and you're not just buying something for the sake of the fact that you're out buying something, right? And then it's about recognizing if you're hoarding stuff. That's another thing. I didn't actually mention that. I will talk a little bit about the hoarding thing now. If you're hoarding something, then that really is probably an energy field of a question mark around, is this in my highest good? And it probably isn't. So really reflect on what it is you've got. If you've got like something you collected since you were like, I don't know, 16, and you've kept them, and you know now that they're not for you, release them if they're not for you. It's fine to keep them if they are, but just to recognize that. And then the final bit is, so then you're basically going to open up for new stuff to come in. It's kind of new stuff time, right? And it's, you're dieting on the stuff that takes up your space. You're removing the stuff that takes up space in your life, and that's the diet. That's what you're looking at, right? And then new stuff, new life, new opportunities. This will open doors for you. The reason it's important in the self-love pathway, and what we're about to go into, and when I do the real self-love stuff, is that when you create that harmony within you, it makes implementing the changes that come up through self-love tips and tools so much more effective and efficient. And I want that for everybody. I want everyone to feel so much more effective and efficient. What could we ask for, right? What more could we ask for? I am a fine one to talk because I've got a bit of it to do myself, and this video couldn't have come at more timely, in a timely energy field. I am sending you all so much love. Namaste. Take care of yourselves and have a lovely rest of the week, or a lovely week that's coming, or whenever you are watching this. Have an amazing time. Do subscribe if you're interested in any of the stuff that I do. There is so much content going to be coming out here. I'd love to have you on board, and I'd love to be able to connect with you in some way. Take care of yourselves, and I will speak to you soon. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.